How you doing? This is Coach DeCarlo. Someone recently inquired with me about God's calling on their life. And I basically told them that God's calling is your life. God seeks to express himself in us, as us, through us, for us, and is the hope in us. But let me go to Scripture. Someone approached Jesus and they asked the question. They said, therefore to him, what must we do that we may do the works of God? Or, as some would say, the calling of God. Jesus answered and said unto them, this is the work of God, that you may believe in him whom he has sent. This is coming from John 6, verses 28 through 29. Many of us would just take that to mean Jesus. And in part, that's true. But what I will often say is from Genesis to Revelation, this is your story. From a metaphysical standpoint, how does this apply to your story? So they said to him, like the person said to me, how do I know that I'm living out the calling of God? They said, what must we do that we may do the works of God? What are the works of God? We're called to love one another even as God is love. No matter what our vocation, and this is what work speaks of. It speaks of an occupation, a vocation. What is that thing that you're doing with your life? And Jesus said this. This is the work of God, that you may believe in him. So who's the him or her that you may believe in? If you look up the name Jesus, it means salvation. But it also means I am. Whatever that thing is that you desire, the fulfillment of that desire is salvation. Anytime you say, I am this, I am that, what you're doing is linking the allness known as God to your creation, whatever you're creating with your I am at the moment. So like I stated to the person that made the inquiry, what is the calling of God? Now, many times, especially myself as an early Christian, I used to believe that the calling of God was going on the mission field and sacrificing my life and just living a religious life, as it were. Just being, and many times when we think about the calling of God, we think about a religious life. But the truth of the matter is, because you're spiritual beings, you're always exemplifying the call of God on your life. Some say, well, what about the bank robber or the person that's doing bad? Scripture says this, that I heal, that I kill, that I make alive, and no one can deliver from my hand. Who's speaking? This is God speaking. How is God healing, killing, no one delivering from his hand? Because God is doing this through humanity. When we're talking about the calling of God, the vocation of God, whatever it is that you're led to do at the moment, that thing that you're inspired to do, we're told that enthusiasm means of God or of spirit. So whatever you're enthusiastically doing at the moment, and those things that you're not enthusiastically doing at the moment, that's your call at the moment. God is so vast that presently it takes almost 8 billion people for him to express himself, herself, whatever you want to call that entity. And understanding this, God is expressing himself as you. Paul said it this way, that know you not that if you're with a prostitute, that you're joining God, Christ, with that prostitute. There's nothing that we can be, do, or have apart from the infinite spirit known as God. So whatever you're doing at the moment is God's call on your life. Now, some would buck against that and they would give me all these scenarios of God's calling. Understand this. We can't live this life apart from the divine known as God. Jesus said, apart from the Father, I can do nothing. And this is true for each and every one of us. When we're talking about the calling of God, as you begin to live your life of excellence, then that's your calling of God. But if you decide to live a lower level existence, then for you, that's your calling of God. God doesn't make duplicates, as often been said. You can look at a snowflake and no two are alike. You can look at a raindrop. You can look at a leaf. You can look at all of God's creation, and what you'll discover, there are no two alike. So they inquired with him, what must we do that we may do the works of God? And the I am, Jesus, salvation, said, this is the work of God. He didn't say go out and do missions. He didn't say go out and save souls. Now, he did give the commission later on, go out and give this message to all the world, the good news. He says that you may believe on him. So when you begin believing, hear me out. When you begin believing in what it is that you say, do, or have, you're operating from the call of God. So say that you want to experience greatness in your life. This is the work of God, that you believe in him whom he has sent. He sent himself in you as you. When you begin to believe in yourself, you're living out the calling, the works of God. Many of us think that everybody else is destined for greatness, and we find it very hard to see it for ourselves. But Jesus said this, when you believe in him, the I am within you, whom God has sent, it says of the body, it says that body will return to the ground, but the spirit will return to God who sent it, in the book of Ecclesiastes. So understand, God's spirit in you has been sent. When you begin to believe in the I am, whatever that thing is that you've imagined yourself to do, be, or have, you're well on to your calling and your manifestation. But until you begin to believe, do, and have, it will always be something that eludes you. And this is so many people's story, because they can't believe that the thing that they've imagined is possible. When you begin to believe in him whom God has sent, the Christ within you, I am, you will begin doing, having, and being, and experiencing the calling of God. But remember this, creators, that only you can create your perfect world, not God or man. Only you can create your perfect world. This is Coach DeCarlo saying have a great and abundant day. If you're interested in my $99 program teaching you how to share your message with the world and get paid, go to CoachDeCarlo1@gmail.com and say, Coach, I'm interested.